Driving games on Roblox are really easy to find. However, a majority of them share the same formula. You're given a starter car with a big open world, a couple races to do, you can drive around to earn cash, then you can get better cars to earn more money, you rinse and repeat. Think of games like Driving Empire and Ultimate Driving. More than likely those are the first two games that you can think of off the top of your head that are still very popular right now. But the game that we're going to be playing in this video is totally different. And at the end of the video, you could agree with my opinion by saying that this is the best driving game on Roblox. So let's get right into it. If you're wondering what the game is called, it's called Solitary. And if you're wanting to play this yourself, I'll have the game link in the description below. VIP servers on here are free, and there's a lot of other things that you can do with VIP servers, and I'll describe them here in a little bit. But Solitary, it's very simple. All you do, there's not that many maps that you can choose from, but all you do on this game is you drift. And I know that sounds very basic, and you'll be like, oh, it's just like Drift Paradise. No, it is not. This game arguably is way better than Drift Paradise. But yeah, the car models on here look absolutely phenomenal. I'm gonna say that right now. I'll put like a side-by-side of what the cars used to look like compared to these. It's absolutely stunning. It's crazy how far that we've advanced on this. But yeah, they just recently did a Halloween update a couple days ago. I'm gonna be showing that on here, and I'll be showing you guys a couple big key points on this game as to why this might be the best driving game on this site. As of me recording this video, right now there's only about 10 maps that you can really choose from, which, you know, 10 maps to drift around in. That does not sound like that much, but the amount of time you're gonna be spending trying to perfect, you know, every single corner, all that good stuff. That's why it's really fun. Plus, also, I forgot to mention the community that you'll find on here. You can find some absolutely amazing people on here. If you guys are familiar with driving games, you guys should know what Oi Wharf is. If you guys don't know, it's, you know, the famous map that you see people on Assetto Corsa doing 360 reverse entries, stuff like that. But yeah, as I was saying earlier, the graphics on this game look really good, considering the type of game it is. And probably the very first question you're gonna ask is, okay, so what kind of vehicles do they have? A lot of JDM-based vehicles. Every single one of these, they're all, you know, slammed to the ground. Obviously, each of these vehicles, they handle differently. Some of them make more power than others. But just recently in a new update, you are able to fine-tune like the suspension and your steering settings. That way you can like you can have softer or more stiffer suspension, and you can turn into corners a little bit faster. There we go. I'm gonna go ahead and go to a little bit of a more technical map. That way you guys have a good understanding of how this game is supposed to work. This is more of a free roam-esque map rather than an actual drift map. Well, the map selection thing might be a little broken. Why is it not? Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, so now we're on Omiro Circuit. I hope I did not butcher the pronunciation on that. Just cross fingers I didn't. But this is my go-to map whenever I play this game. Also, the game audio is really loud for some reason. 1 second. Yeah, this track, there's a lot of, you know, tight, compact corners. There's some good straightaways. It's basically what all you really need in a drift map. And probably one of the very first things you want to know is, how do the drifting physics feel? Like what I was saying earlier on me doing a 360, like butter. It is absolutely butter smooth. It's not like Drift Paradise where it feels all, I don't know how I can explain it. It's way too responsive, whereas on this, there's a little bit of numbness to it, I should say. And I know that sounds kind of weird, but I'm just being fully honest. And I feel like because of that, that's why a lot of people, when you see people drift on here, it actually looks pretty smooth. Whereas on Drift Paradise, it's like the only way possible that you can get like a smooth drift is if you're using mouse control. And I'm gonna do something really risky. There. We good. We good. I'm surprised I didn't clip the wall there. We got a 4-car tandem going on. Well, I don't know if you can really call this a tandem. And somehow I'm struggling to keep up with them. Well, it doesn't help that like half of them are cutting in the grass. So, yeah, doing tandems is very tricky, especially if you're using a different vehicle. Every single vehicle on this game handles differently than others. There we go, get some of that wide angle. Door-to-door tandem action right here. All right. All right. I see you. I'm gonna do another lap in this, and I'm gonna go ahead and swap cars. That way you guys just don't see me just driving only in the white chaser. Because the white chaser on here is my main. Also, like, I did a pretty nice 360. Yo! That was actually pretty sick. We should drift the... You know what? I actually haven't drifted this vehicle yet. This is my very first time drifting the Miata on this game. I don't know how it feels. Now, while we're in the topic of car customization, I totally just about completely glossed over this. I don't think this vehicle has that much customization. Yeah, because it's Halloween themed. All you got is orange and black. Black looks really clean on this. You could take off the... You can adjust the transparency on the banner. It's like kind of like a sun visor. You can have it completely off as well, which I normally run with most of my vehicles. You can also take off or on the spoiler. The spoiler has zero effect on your downforce and your handling, so this is all purely cosmetic. And yeah, here's your tuning settings. It's very basic. You can adjust the dampening. This is for your suspension. So your dampening is when you hit a bump, it's how fast the wheel retracts back to like its normal position. So like when you hit like a speed bump, and if your dampening is really low, it basically meaning that it'll be really bouncy. Whereas if you had it on the other end of the scale, it'll be really stiff. What I'm saying is one side can turn your car into a blob of jello on wheels, and the other can absolutely break your spine. And your aggressiveness, this only adjusts your turn in when you go and turn your vehicle. So like when I go from one direction to the other from full lock, all that this does is adjust how fast you can turn in. And usually I keep this around default, unless if I'm running a really technical circuit. Like if I'm running a toge map, and there's a bunch of like 90-degree turns and a very low speed drifts, that makes total sense that you'll have your aggressiveness high up. And it also helps out better if you have like a lower powered vehicle. That way you can just absolutely just swing it to one side and go from there. And yes, I forgot to mention, interior. There's actually a couple things with the interior. Every single vehicle will have a air freshener and a Surikawa. I think that's like a grab handle, if I may be mistaken. But you can have them on or off. This also has customizable number plates, but as you can see, I don't have the Game Pass. I have the Robux. But I already spent $700 on VIP and the sports car pass. All that for 4 cars. Yeah. And there's also Underglow, which I also do not own. This as well as its own Game Pass. Just make sure that when you're done customizing your vehicle, make sure you hit save. That way your build will save. So yeah, this car doesn't make as much power. So I'm curious how well this car will do. So far, it's not too bad, actually. I have it on, like, I have it to where it's really sensitive. Yeah, this car isn't too terrible. Now, I was gonna absolutely trash on the Miata. Okay. So some vehicles doing a 360 may be kind of tricky because of how much brake force there is that's being applied. Because some vehicles on here, the brake force is way too high and it'll just lock up your wheels. A majority of the vehicles on here, if you make enough power, you can just slam on the brakes and just keep accelerating, and it won't slow you down by that much. That's how you're able to spin your car around. So I'm gonna do this again. Can't really see because of the tire spin. It's possible to do a 360, however, you lose like a good chunk of your momentum. I'm gonna go ahead and swap to another car real quick. The Miata isn't too bad, but like, if you're wanting to do 360s like what I'm doing, then that won't really be the vehicle for you. This one I customized just a tad bit. Oh yeah. I forgot about that. This one has a lot more in-depth like detail when it comes to like just cosmetics in general. Like some parts you can actually see like on the fender, like this one right here, you can actually see the scuff marks on it. This one you can, like this one, like on the front, like obviously, oh my god, the camera! You can see like on this turn signal right here, the actual mirror, or like the little mirror spot right there is actually cracked. And there's actually zip ties held up on this little bumper. That's actually a really very small, nice detail. Actually, I didn't even see that until now. All right, 360, easily. I think you can do 360s easily. Dude, I'm like on the very edge on that wall. Yeah, I actually wasn't even using the lowered suspension option. We could try that and see how this vehicle handles. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and change maps. If I could choose one, please! Alright, we're doing Tokiwa next. And what the heck were those meshes? I gotta pull up a freeze frame on that. That looked weird. Before the super fanboys come in and start complaining, here you go. I'll use the Supra this time. Here's the idle. Sounds absolutely gnarly. This is one of those tight technical maps. And on a serious note, I kind of wish I didn't pick the Supra because the Supra makes 15 pounds of boost, and it's probably pushing a lot of power. The only time it would make sense is right here, and then you just whip it. You do a 360. That was real clean. What the heck, bruh? What the heck? Nobody's driving that dude's car. What the heck, bro? There's no one in that car, and it was going all by itself. Oh, Lord, this is one of the Halloween vehicles. Oh, my goodness. This livery is, yeah. Yeah, I'm not liking it. All right, I'm gonna see if I can do a 360. Oh? Let's go, dude! 360 in a minivan! This thing just needs more power. And somehow, you know, this will actually be not that terrible of a vehicle to drift. Alright, so this time we're loaded in Sportsland Akiyama. I think that's how it's pronounced. I swear, like, every single one of these names, I have a feeling that I know I'm just gonna butcher, and I hope I don't. But yeah, if I remember correctly, the command that you have to use when you're in the VIP server, I think it's like /tools. Yeah, it's /tools, and you get clipping zones and cones. You can actually go around and place these on the map. Clipping zones are really used for when you're trying to get a good drift line in. Use that as a reference. That way when you do play later on, it'll be a little bit more, it'll be pretty helpful understanding what line is what. Every time I do this track, I always end up somehow going the wrong way. I don't know how. I'm gonna go ahead, I'll demonstrate the clipping zone. I'll just place down some clipping zones like right here. I'll put down a clip zone like right here. Use that as a reference to know where I'm supposed to slide. Yeah, all it is really, like what I said, it's just a reference point. That way it's easier for you to understand what line you're supposed to take on what map. You could probably be a lot more smoother. Well, anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video from here, and hopefully that I found you guys that are watching this video maybe a new game to kind of play a lot with a bunch of your friends and stuff like that. If you did enjoy this video, feel free to hit that like button. Comment down below, actually. I want to see your guys' responses as to like what other driving games I should try out. If you also want to see more content like this, feel free to hit that subscribe button. That'll greatly help me out. I've also got a Twitch account, I got a Roblox group, and a Discord server if you want to join any of those. Other than that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and hopefully I will catch you on another video in the near future. Take care, guys.